This is Raven Dana at Walking Between the Worlds, and thank you for tuning in. I just posted something a few minutes ago, but it wasn't everything I wanted to say. I have, in the past couple of weeks, spoken to a lot of people who are having difficulty sleeping, difficulty feeling that the future is going to be bright, difficulty believing that people that they knew and trusted had ideas about the culture we live in that included cruelty and included domination of women and included the possibility of immigrants being deported. So if you are among those who are having a difficult time with the direction that our country is headed in, this small conversation is for you. I'm going to invite you to dream the future that you wish to have. And I don't mean to just imagine or go to la la land with this conversation. I mean to ask yourself, how have people in history pushed back against authoritarian figures and made a difference? So there certainly has been a lot of history in our country where there's been pushback and demonstrations and all kinds of things. And although I'm not specifically saying, get out in the street and demonstrate, what I am saying is to dream into, to imagine vividly all the different possibilities that are available for pushing back. What does it look like to be brave? What does it feel like to stand up for something? And I don't mean pick arguments with people. There's no power in that. There's no wisdom in that. What I am saying is to be clear and proactive about being kind and inclusive and protecting the people around you. There are things that we can all do to vividly create this kind of future for our culture. And it doesn't happen by sitting at home worrying about what's coming next. It happens by being in community, by being in conversation, by not dwelling on the horrible things that could or might happen, but by dwelling on what specifically can we do to offset the direction we see things going. And there are things we can do. There are organizations that support the disenfranchised. There are groups that are now forming to help to shelter people who need that shelter. There are groups forming that are willing to pay for medical care for women who are unable to get it any other way. So I'm going to invite you to take a look at the issues that are closest to your heart, the things that are most meaningful to you, and then talk with people in your life. Dream together. In other words, put a plan in action based on your research and imagination of what a difference we can make. In the words of Margaret Mead, it is a small group of people, small group of dedicated people whose actions change the world. And it's the only thing that ever does. So we are that group, and we're not that small. We're about half the population of the nation. So imagine if 1 out of 2 people really took a stand for kindness and inclusion and fairness, justice for women, inclusion in all different areas. What if we did that every day by how we behaved, by the conversations we had, by how we voted, by aligning ourselves with organizations that have some clout? So anyway, I'm having this conversation with you simply because as we enter the winter time and the season where many people tend to get a little down anyway because we have less light and the holidays are stressful and we're busy, I'm going to invite you not to go down the rabbit hole with this conversation. I'm going to invite you to brave up, to find your courageous place, and to talk to people about the possibilities of doing some specific things that can help move the energy forward. So I'm going to be talking a lot more about this and I will be giving some very specific things that we can do. I'm going to do a 3-part series coming up in December, and I will focus very specifically on actions that we can take and organizations that we can consider supporting or joining or modeling ourselves after. So I'm just really leaving this here for you today to say, please take heart. Hold on to that hope and find the people in your community that are like-minded and encourage them. We need to encourage each other to be strong, to push back, to resist the wrongness of things. And the way to do that is not to fight with the people we know and argue about what. It's not, personal arguing isn't going to do it, right? Facebook bantering isn't going to do it. But your daily action and the conversations you have, when somebody says something that is off, say something about it. Don't sit back in silence and grit your teeth, because silence is consent. So that is the advice I'm giving you today to help you have better sleep and a better outlook for the future. Get in action in some way that's meaningful to you. And as I said, there are a lot of us who are on the same page with building a world, building a culture in this country of kindness and compassion and inclusion. So hold that light. It's there and it's available. Thank you for tuning in today. Bye now.